All right, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all the praise, all the honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Harakakwadash. And of course, as always, double honors to our apostles and our elders that rule well at Great Millstone. Salutations to all you sincere Akim that are preaching this word in all truth and sincerity. So what you see here is the president of Mexico. And I'm going to just read this. All right, her name is Claudia Sheinbaum. Sheinbaum. Now, when you read that, okay, you can just see right away that this is not an Issacharite or a so-called Latino Hispanic last name, man. And, you know, you so-called Mexicans, all right, you're Hebrew Israelites, okay, of the tribe of Issachar, all right, which is Yeshashkar in the Hebrew, which means he is hired. Okay, the so-called Mexicans, all right, working class, all right, the hardest working people on the earth. And that name is a blessing, all right, in itself. Okay, the name Yeshashkar or Issachar, it means he is hired. All right, you so-called Mexicans are the hardest working people on the earth. And so just reading this alone, I was like, oh man, this is an Amalekite, you know, and I didn't even read into it until I believe yesterday. So it reads, Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo, born the 24th of June, 1962, is a Mexican politician, energy and climate change scientist, and academic who is the 66th and current president of Mexico since 2024. She is the first woman and the first Jewish person to hold the office. There she is. There's that fucking devil right there. All right. See, wherever you Israelites are in the earth, okay, you don't own anything. You don't run anything. Okay, you're a slave, all right? This is Baruch chapter 3, verse 8. It says, Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us. So wherever you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, are scattered in the earth, wherever you are, you're under curses, man. You're in captivity. You are a slave. It says, for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments. You see, you don't own any fucking thing. All right, and you're subject to payments. You got to pay taxes. Okay, the so-called Mexicans, once again, the tribe of Issachar, are in, you know, Mexico, and they don't run their own country, man. All right, Esau, the Edomites, they run the world. As it says in Job 9:24, the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. Okay, the wicked is ruling the planet wherever you go. All right, the heathen, okay, they have their faces up there. All right, but who really, you know, moves them and gives them access to, you know, the trade market and things of that nature is, you know, the elite, the bankers, man. The bankers control all the kings of the nations, man. All right. It says, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our God. Okay? So wherever we go, all right, we're under, Esau, Edom. We're under these other nations, man. Okay? This is Jeremiah, and I believe it's chapter 50 and 33. Yeah, Khan. It says, thus saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. And the children of Israel, all right, is synonymous with the northern kingdom. Okay, you so-called native, all right, and Latino tribes. Okay. And then the children of Judah, all right, is the southern kingdom, which are the Negroid tribes. All right. Judah, Benjamin, Levi. Which Judah being the Negroes, all right, African Americans. Okay, Benjamin are the people of Jamaica, all right, the Caribbean, West Indies, if you will. The West Indies, all right? Like Trinidad, Tobago, Barbados, okay, Jamaica. And then Levi are the so-called Haitians. Okay, we were oppressed together. They have what you call, the transatlantic slave trade, where they were, shipping us, from West Africa, all right, to America, and then from America back to Europe and, different parts of the earth. They were trading you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. When you look at the first stock, all right, that was sold on Wall Street here in Babylon, it was us, man. Okay. The stock market was cattle, all right, and us, slaves, man. We were oppressed together. We were put in this captivity. As it says, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. So wherever you are on the earth, okay, you're in captivity. You're being monitored. You're being watched, controlled. Okay, whether you accept it or not. If you still think that, you're free, especially here in America, as they say, the land of the free, the home of the brave. If you really think that, you're bugged out. Okay, don't pay taxes on your house if you own a house. Don't pay that property tax. All right, they're going to take your shit, man. Okay? Don't pay taxes on anything. Okay, you're when you file income tax, don't pay it. Don't file it. See what happens. All right? The IRS, all right, the Fed, they'll come in and take whatever the fuck you got. Repossess it, man. And I just thought I'd do this lesson based on, what I've seen here. And I was digging deeper. And it goes into, let's see right here, early life. And it says, the history of her family. And her father was Carlos Schienbaum Yosel Levitz. What kind of fucking last name is that? Okay. It says Carlos Schienbaum was of Ashkenazi Jewish descent. So that's Amalek, man. All right, they're scattered throughout all the earth. Okay, and they monitor and control things, man. They run for presidency, they win that. Okay. The people that are in control are Edomites, starting with, all right, the so-called Jew, which is the tribe of Amalek. Okay. So there you have it. All right, we are yet this day in our captivity. Mexicans don't run Mexico. All right, you Israelites, wherever you are. Okay, Puerto Ricans, all right, that's a U.S. colony. Okay, Cuba, they got tariffs and all kinds of things placed on them where they got to play ball. Okay, and then you got the other tribes. Look at Venezuela, man, Colombia. Okay, they don't want to play ball, so now Esau's threatening them with war. He's all in their backyard, getting ready to strike them, man. So hey, you need to really wake up and realize that you're the chosen people, okay, and that you're in captivity. All right, 1/3 is gonna wake up, and then 2/3 of our people, they're gonna believe a lie. All right, they're gonna believe that this is a so-called Mexican woman. Now she's Mexican by her citizenship, okay, but she is not indigenous to Mexico. Okay, and to even be deeper, all right, you so-called Mexicans are not indigenous to Mexico. You're indigenous to the land of Israel, okay? But that's just a play on words. They call us indigenous because we were found here, and that word indigenous is like utilized also for native people. They're indigenous to that land, that region, okay? But yeah, you're actually Israelites. All right, you're indigenous to Israel, okay? So yeah, with that, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Harakakwadash. And of course, as always, double honors to our apostles and our elders that rule well. All right, shalom to you, sincere Akim.